What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jack, and I'm back with another episode of A Daily Dose. Today, I'm going to be reacting to a video from a channel called A Peaceful Life. If you want to watch this video without my commentary, I'll make sure I have it in the description box below. Before we get into it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it.
We get to a point in this society where simping is going to be classified as a men's mental health disorder, because that's what it is. But it's been created by the society, this gynocentric environment, this gynocentrism, where men's self-esteem, the attack of manhood, masculinity, trying to feminize men for the last 70, 80 plus years, has produced an army of jelly-back simps. Even me, A Peaceful Life. We were raised to be simps. We were implanted, salute to BGS Igma, we were implanted with a simp bug, pandering to, or even time, me personally, I was an unconscious simp in my younger years. I didn't even know I was a simp until I had a wake-up call around like 30 years old when I experienced the legal system in terms of divorce law. Not because of some women hurt your feelings or all that bullshit. You realize the child support system and the system in general with the legal system. That's why I'm a big fan of a guy like Paul Elam.
And I'm going to stop it right there. I agree with most of the things he has to say up to this point. They going to have to study simping at some point. It'll never happen, obviously, because people who this is one of those things where you either get it or you don't. And you'll get a lot of pushback once you start to see the world for what it truly is. Because a lot of people just want to stay asleep or with the veil over their eyes. They don't want to be aware. Just like Cypher from the Matrix. He wanted to go back to the Matrix because ignorance is bliss. What does that mean? That means that it's more peaceful to not know. Even though he knew the stake wasn't real, right? As he sat there and ate it with Agent Smith, he still wanted to go back into the Matrix because the real world, he didn't want to eat that slop anymore. He didn't want to have to deal with that. He wanted luxury. And it's a similar concept. And the pushback is your feelings are hurt, not necessarily because the woman left, right? That's not necessarily what upsets you. What upsets you is like what he said, when you have to go through the legal system and then you develop that anger because you can do nothing about it. You're just about to be stripped and bent over with a non-skid dildo, and it's gonna be ran up there with no lube, right? And they're gonna extract everything that they can. Uh, some of us are fortunate enough, and this is why they dislike me and talking on the internet. We've been fortunate enough to see a little bit of it, and I always say that older people are the future because they've already lived through whatever you're gonna live through. So they might be able to offer some type of wisdom. Now, all older people aren't wise, right? This guy's he's an older gentleman and he's wise. So taking his advice would not harm you. You don't have to do everything that they say. However, you take away what you can and apply it to your life and the time period that you're living in, because the way he grew up might not necessarily be the way I grew up versus someone else, right? Let's continue.
Paul Elam, young men, gentlemen, research his name. The original guy with the men's rights activist spaces that deal with the legal issues facing men and the psychological and mental health issues, not these goofy ass, bottom feeding, degenerate game coaches and trash dudes that are living, been married for the last 20, that grifters on the internet selling bullshit. Grown men my age, I'm 51 years old, Imagine me talking about game. You tell me that I don't have enough power in my life to command women to do the things that I want them to do at 51 years old? I got to sit around lying to women and practicing bullshit game? If I want women to do something, I just tell them to do it, and they do it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. Game, like, what is game? What what is that? You're just lying. That's why it's about leverage and options. If you have the leverage, then they're gonna do what you say, right? I'm not saying have them do don't take advantage of them, right? But they're either gonna get on your program or they're dismissed. That's as far as it goes. But you have to have the leverage and the options to do this. How do you get the leverage? Money is their Achilles heel, right? Most of them, I mean, they're gonna do just about anything for some dollars. Money is your leverage. Your body is your leverage, right? And with a body that splits into multiple categories, as I say on this channel, and I will continue to say, be well groomed, be in great to excellent shape, have your money correct, have leadership qualities about yourself. But I mean, these things all kind of fall in line with each other.
If they don't do it, they just get replaced with another woman. And that's the way you're supposed to be as a man at a certain point in your life, especially over 30 years old. If you can't do that, get back to work. You got some other issues beyond game. And the number one issues affecting men is this systematically socialized low self-esteem epidemic, where they don't even know their value. They even think that they have to pedestalize a bunch of chicken heads.
Hey, and then I hate a man who know they worth, because that just is aggravating.
Ladies, don't kill me for this, but women hate for a man to know his worth. We don't like that shit. Nigga come around thinking he know his worth. Oh, he too good for this, he too good for that. A man that know his worth ain't gonna let us play with him. And I don't like that. Me personally, I don't like that. Nigga, I need you to come around not knowing shit.
I don't like men who know their worth. Like, I hate y'all. I hate men who know their worth. They be like, I don't gotta deal with girl shit.
Or women that are not even worthy to be in the presence of respectable men. Again, salute to all the good women out here. I'm not talking about you. And that's the fundamental issues these guys don't talk about. You're running game because the women themselves is damaged. Game is for damaged women. That's what you're running game for. Why are you running game? Be careful with that game. You might end up with some damn cylinder block in the back of your window or some goofy shit in today's modern age.
And he's not lying. And for reference, game, what I'm hearing, and you tell me what you guys hear in the comments, is basically telling a woman what she wants to hear. I'll give you an example. You're dating a woman, 33, 34, 35. She's in her 30s. You know she wants to get married. You know she wants to have a child. You know that she's attracted to you. So the game is, and you can't stop men from doing this, it's going to happen. They put themselves in this position. This is just an example. You tell her, yeah, I want to get married. I want to have kids, I could see something with you. You keep it very vague, but you allow her to believe that this is going to progress. And then you disappear after you got what you want. After a few months, you got what you want from her, and then you disappear. Now you might be dealing with a psychopath. She might come to your house and do some nefarious things.
Especially when we're dealing with an epidemic of mental illness and delusion out here in these streets. We're dealing with mental health challenges, and many individuals have made a profit motive on teaching this goofy game. Maybe that man has a mental health issue from his upbringing, from his childhood, because his self-esteem is supposed to be instilled in him by men, masculine men. And if it's not been done, the first thing you need to address is his self-esteem and his issue in his masculinities that makes him think that women are more valuable than him, or he has to pedestalize women. It's hard to exploit somebody who has self-respect, self-esteem, and is in love with themselves in terms of not in some narcissistic way, but actually values themselves.
As a woman, dealing with a man who knows his worth is literally like the most like humbling experience ever, because he will literally cut your ass off. Like, he'll let you slide on a couple of crazy things, but like that final one, your ass is cut. And that shit is so heartbreaking, because it's like when a nigga mess up, you like, boy, you will never hit this again. But when you mess up, and you really gotta accept the fact that you messed up and that you will never hit that again, that is very humbling, okay? It's very heartbreaking. It's something very hard to come to terms with. Like, but yeah, I messed that up? Oh no. The accountability really starts to kick in, and it feels a lot like shame. But they always come back, so just make sure next time you don't act crazy, okay? Because I'm not gonna act crazy with you.
Right. And you'll hear women often say this. They hate a man who knows his worth. Why is that? Everything he just explained. You can't manipulate somebody who values themselves and they know their worth. They're not going to deal with the nonsense.
And that's why I teach men how to stand alone before you can add somebody else to your life. And we talk about it. Your self-esteem should not be determined by whether you have a woman in your life or not. Because at the end of the day, if you calculate all these guys' behaviors, they're still simps because they're all performing for women. They can't live without women. Their whole life is centered around women. Any content you make about your own self-worth or self-esteem, and they see it as an attack. They attack guys that are living, a guy go overseas, and they attack guys because it destroys their business model, okay? I see all these game coaches attacking a guy like MTR because you're not going to pay them for that goofy game. You're not going, but I'm sure if you absorb that game, you will realize that half of these guys is halfway illiterate, have no sense of, bottom feeders, grifters of the space, selling goofy shit. I mean, men's issue with the dating market, now you're dealing with delusion and mental illness. You're dealing with, you can gain that all you want. You might end up in a bad situation. What game you need to learn to do is identify borderline personality disorders, mental issues, and stuff like that. And playing games with some of these women today, you could get up in some serious situation. I saw this situation, a young girl the other day just deleted her boyfriend. And I'm like, what? She just blasted that dude. Pow, 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 pow. Go play a game with that stuff. No, hell no. How about learning how to avoid that crazy individual or individual with mental challenges? And that's real thing. Self-protection game, I agree with. Money game, health game, all that other stuff about taking care of yourself. But trying to run game on a bunch of chicken heads as a grown-ass man, you have failed in life. You failed in life. You are a loser. That's what you are. If you're sitting around in your life figuring out how to game a bunch of chicken heads, you are a loser. And the issue they have with the men, and now don't get me wrong, there's some serious downsides to many men going overseas. And there's a lot of guys selling bullshit. Women, in my opinion, are the same everywhere globally.
Agreed. It doesn't matter. Women are women wherever you go. So it doesn't matter if, again, I agree with a lot of some of these content creators when they're talking about having your finances in order, fitness, being well groomed, even the leadership aspect, right? You should have vision, direction, and be unshakable to a certain degree, right? That's why I consider myself a optimistic pessimist. What does that mean? I hope for the best, but I am prepared for the worst, right? Because like Mike Tyson said, everybody's ready to fight until you get punched in the mouth. Something to that effect. I should probably get that quote down if I'm going to quote it. But everybody has a plan until it's time, or everybody's ready until it's time to have a backup plan, rather.
The only difference is accountability in those systems, financial issues, and there's a system in place that doesn't teach women misandry since they were young, raising them to hate men and raise them to despise men and whatever else. So a woman is not raised to hate you like they are in like America and many places in the West who think you're some evil patriarchy or choose the bear over you. And then we have some problems too. Check out South Korea, check out China, check out all these other places. So my thing is, men in general should vet all women through red pill lenses. Globally. I don't care what. They got women running scam in America. They got women running scam overseas. Everywhere. And you got delusion everywhere. Wherever this phone goes, delusion follows.
And I would say we take the clear pill over here. The red, black, and the blue. The red and the black seems more is more. How would I say this? I wouldn't say it's. I definitely wouldn't say it's misogynistic. However, it has a negative connotation to it. With the clear pill, we understand the rules, we accept the rules because we don't make the rules. We just bend the rules or apply the rules in a way that benefit our lives because you're not changing anything for the most part. And even if you were making a change, you're not going to reap the benefits. So you can make that change, but still apply the rules that exist now to get the best possible outcomes for yourself.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. If you brought those women here in America, they'll be the same way. They'll be hopped up on this feminism, delusion, running game like these women be running game. Running game like these cornballs of the internet who you look at some of these guys. If it wasn't for YouTube, most of these guys would be invisible. Invisible. You would not see them, you would not know them. YouTube is the only thing they got going on in life. Nothing else. Nothing else. You would walk past them in the store like they were invisible. And that's what you're dealing with individuals. And they're not going to let go of that power easy. And they're not going to let go of it. Why don't you? See, a peaceful life wants this channel to be irrelevant. Delete it. I want to be gone from YouTube. Because at the end of the day, I want men to win. Even if this means that I become irrelevant. Granted, everybody wants to make a couple of dollars off of YouTube, including me. I mean, YouTube is not free. It costs money. It costs time. It takes energy. But my objective mainly is to keep men alive, period. And I attack the virus itself, which is self-esteem, low self-esteem. Teaching you game, if you hate yourself, is a wasteful thing. Why do you not like yourself is the first question I'm going to ask you. Why do you have an issue existing? You should be able to exist 2-3 years as a man without a woman in your life. Why do you not like yourself? Why are you not in love with your own company? As well as listen to some goofy game coaching. First of all, let me explain something to you. Nowadays, with the way delusion is, but there's no return on investment to be walking up to. Look, you see these game coaches get laughed at in real world. First of all, you're dealing with a creature that runs on delusion.
And let me stop him real quick because he is right. Running game is when you care about yourself, when you have the leverage and option, you don't have to run game. You don't have to run game, right? Because you will have the options. You will have the leverage. I'm telling you, getting in shape, having your money right, like that, having your mind right. If you go down that path, right, of getting into great to excellent shape, building more income, presenting well, being well groomed, wherever you go, smelling well. You don't need any game. There's no game. You will automatically get the choosing signals. Hell, you'll even get them just coming up to you, staring at you, Like, that is your confirmation right there. You don't need no game.
Okay? You walking up to random women, many of them find it disrespectful. If you're not an image of a person that they have in their mind, they envision. Maybe the guy on the basketball team. I was on the basketball team for you goofy ass scheme coaches. You come into this space, you talk to me. I'm the 6'7", 6'8" guy that was on the team. I understand these women. So all these goofy dudes and whatever else, I understand. Cause they've let me got away with murder all these years. I know how women think. They treat different men differently, and depend on how they move. And that's the truth of life. And the problem is this: if you're not the type of man that they like in today's day and age with social media, and you walk upon a woman, she's going to be an asshole to you. First of all, they're raised to hate men. Second of all, she doesn't even think. You see women that are 350 pounds talking about their tens. And in her mind, she feels disrespected. Because in her mind, you've lowered her value. What would make him think that I would even consider him? And they've expressed it in TikTok videos and all these other videos. They've told you that. They've told you they've chose the man. They told you they don't like men. Period. So walking up on, that's goofy shit. Who wants to be beaten like a piñata? Well, it's man's job to take. No, hell no. That's your job, because you're desperate and you're thirsty. And you can't get boxed any other way but going up to women and begging them to like you. That's your problem. That's your issue. Again, I always tell people in this world, man, let me tell you something. I don't need no box. I just need me some money. Sex ain't nothing but a memory for me. And again, I'm not a bitch-led man, a man that's led by his phallus and held hostage by his phallus and shit like that. I go for years, without being in a relationship. That don't mean I won't consume pre-owned. That's a whole nother story. I'm always going to consume pre-owned, but that's a different story. That don't mean I have to be in the house living with a woman. My identity is what I am. My motivation is the way I am going to be. A peaceful life is going to burn fire, whether he's in a relationship or not. The way I move is not determined by women. And
I'm going to leave it there, guys. Again, if you want to finish this video, it'll be in the description box below. Go check out A Peaceful Life channel. I largely agree with everything you said, especially towards the end. No, you still have to be who you're going to be without the woman. If you're just all about her, then, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. It's only a matter of time before that relationship ends. So you have to be about, not selfish, right? However, you still have to take care of yourself, whether you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship. You still have to take care of yourself. You still have to be comfortable with yourself, being at peace with just being with yourself, right? And then it makes it a lot easier when you break up, because, I mean, you're not overly invested. Not saying that you don't care or love the person that you're with, but you're not overly invested to the point where now you want to unalive yourself because you're no longer with this person. Guys, let me know what you thought about this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about my commentary. Let me know what you guys thought about what he's saying, what he's conveying here. Take care of yourself, guys. Until the next episode, peace.